Hello, this is a review of the Ultralight Watertight 0.7 medical kit produced by Adventure Medical Kits AMK, who state that this kit is perfect for the multi-sport athlete that refuses to be weighed down by his or her gear. So AMK boast, as with all their first aid kits, repeatedly tested and approved by professionals worldwide. They certainly seem to have a good reputation and very good customer reviews, no doubt about that one. That's why I bought it. So I bought this one just to chuck in our day pack when just going out for a day trip, for example. So the Ultralight Watertight Medical Kit is certainly lightweight. It weighs about 230 grams or 8 ounces. And described as for the 12 to 24 hour adventure races. It's designed to keep water and the elements out, and the manufacturers claim this kit contains the outdoor first aid essentials needed for 1 to 2 people travelling on 1 to 4 day trips. Certainly if you've got 2 people, 4 days, I might consider getting a larger kit than this, but AMK do have a range of kits. So I personally haven't used this in the field myself, but I do have a bit of experience in first aid, medical treatment, certainly on myself and others, and was very keen to give this kit a go. And so with all first aid kits, as pointed out by AMK, the first aid kit is not meant to be a substitute for seeking professional medical care if required. Review the contents of any first aid kit when you buy it to make sure that the contents are certainly all correct, and work out if there's anything that you can add in a first aid kit that may boost its value. So it is certainly lightweight, designed to treat minor injuries. These type of kits are designed for comfort and practicality, where load and weight are needed as a minimum. So this kit will certainly fit in any day pack, no doubt about that one. And waterproofing is certainly a desired quality in any first aid kit. There's no point getting any of the contents wet if it's raining, or if you fall into a river or whatever. So it's good to keep all your contents dry, and AMK described this kit as containing first aid essentials to immobilise fractures and sprains, treat and close wounds, and treat blisters, which certainly may do, but if you're going to treat fractures, you may want to consider getting something a little bit more substantial. So it has a dual waterproofing system. The outer constructed with both a water resistant nylon and zip, and so I added this carabiner for a bit of extra practicality. And the inner is a waterproof, durable, resealable bag. So the 0.7 would probably do a reasonable job keeping your contents dry. It would certainly float, there's no doubt about that one. I wouldn't go scuba diving with it, for example. And it would float, which definitely is a bonus. So suitable, as AMK states, for kayaking, canoeing, ultralight hiking and backcountry skiing. So certainly suitable for leisurely day hiking, various daily excursions, general recreational pursuits. So you may want to take this on sporting trips, whatever, fishing, cycling. We pretty much throw this in our pack wherever we go, and is definitely a minimum for the average urban vehicle first aid kit, and definitely a minimum as an emergency preparedness kit. But as I say, others as well, any first aid kit is better than nothing. So as mentioned before, the AMK 0.7 medical kit is housed in a lightweight ripstop nylon bag with tapered seams. So they certainly do seem to be quite waterproof and splash proof performance, as AMK state. And the inner bag, the second system, is an inner dry flex bag. So this contains all your medical gear. As manufacturers claim, this is 100% waterproof, which we will test later on. So as Wild Earth State, so we got this at Wild Earth in Australia, as our Wild Earth State contains all the essential first aid supplies with universal uses. So Wild Earth also reiterate that all AMK medical kits are field tested and approved by the top adventure racers, mountaineers, guides and outdoor athletes, and is one of the most awarded sports medical kit companies on the market. So pretty good claim. So certainly a little bit of room in there to include a couple of extras if you wish, which I have done. So nice bright colour too. This will certainly help in locating your kit, whether it's in your pack or in your car. Not sure how luminescent that is at night, but if you've got a torch, like that'd be easily identifiable. And so AMK is an American company, so made in the USA from both imported and domestic components. So it is basically a one-use kit. So with any kit really, if you're going to use it, make sure that you replenish the supplies that you've used for the next use. So just some specifications. So 190 millimeters wide, 150 millimeters high, 50 millimeters deep. So that equates to 7.5 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches. So just a nice little compact kit. There's no excuse not to have a first aid kit when you can get something like this. So it contains 7 medical kit groups, supply types, 17 different supply types, and a total of 38 items. So as mentioned before, waterproof. Do need to be a bit careful with the zipper and the clip seal locking mechanism there as well. So if they get damaged, then that will compromise your waterproofing ability. So contents, I'll just throw these out. So disposable gloves, like these are packed in, so they're the first to be grabbed. If you're treating yourself, you may not really want to use these, but they're certainly housed in a sterile little plastic bag. But if you're treating like blood wounds of other people, you may really want to consider using them. So a lot of gear packed in this. So just some features I've packed in there as some extras. I'll talk about them in a minute. As per contents list, I'm a bit of a fan of rubber bands. Rubber bands don't last forever though, but I've just applied rubber bands to keep all the first aid groups together. I've also used rubber bands and tissue as first aid, like around a finger or a toe, just a tissue and wrap a rubber band around that. That will help keep the wound sterile, for example. But 6 after cuts and scrapes wipes. So that is these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're to simply disinfect an open wound, for example, as per instructions or contents, I should say. 3 after bite sting and itch relief wipes. So that's these. Certainly midges and mosquitoes, sandflies can be a pain. There's no doubt about that one. So that might relieve some of the itchiness. So 2 Skin Tack topical wipes, adhesive. So Skin Tack wipes just to clean wounds in preparation for applying band-aids, for example. That's my dog. As per contents, so 5 bandage adhesive fabrics, so 1 inch by 3 inch. for here because I used one of these before. Now, they're not the best, they're not really that waterproof, but they're better than nothing. So sometimes if it's a finger or a toe, I'll put a band-aid around and then put a rubber band around that to help hold it in place, or use 2 of these to hold it together. So 3 butterfly closure fabric bandages, so they're for assisting in closing a wound, and 3 wound closure strips, so basically just 2 different sizes, so to help in closing a wound. Might also just help protect a particular wound if it's reasonably small. 2 dressing gauze sterile, so 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters, so 3 by 3 inches. There's 2 of them. 2 dressing gauze sterile 5 by 5 centimeters, so 2 by 2 inches. 7.5 by 10 centimeters dressing non-adhesive sterile. So these ones are non-adhesive. So you probably want to use these with the bandage, for example. And as always of value, so we have 1 bandage gauze non-sterile 5 centimeters, 3.75 meters. So that's 2 inches by 4.1 yards, and a smaller one basically. So this one is elastic, so that could be beneficial. Certainly won't treat a snake bite wounds, no doubt about that one. For snakes, use a dedicated snake bite first aid kit. So moleskin and some tape. So 10 yards, 9.1 meters of tape. So that's a good size amount of tape, really. That will get you out of certainly a lot of situations, and definitely the moleskin. So these are prefabricated, I guess. You just sort of peel out the correct size. As people have experienced blisters, there's nothing worse. So that will get you out of trouble if you do have blisters. So instruments as well. So we do have 3 safety pins, and safety pins to help hold them together if you're wrapping them around an arm or a leg to help hold that in place. But safety pins have so many different uses, there's no doubt about that one. And it's a nice little feature in there to have some duct tape, so this could be used for multiple reasons, purposes as well. So once again, if you've got a bit of a wound, like on your forearm or whatever, you wrap a bandage around that and then wrap the tape around it to help keep it clean and to hold that bandage in place until you can get better medical assistance. And also, particularly with this little kit, are some forceps. So as they say, a splinter picker or tick remover forceps. This would be great for removing splinters, there's no doubt about that one, but that would not be very good for removing a tick. I've actually, I don't know if you can see that, but I've just sort of bent the end of the forceps or the tweezers just a little bit. So if you're pulling out a tick, you want to get right in deep and get behind the head. If you're using flat tweezers, you do not want to remove a tick and squash or put pressure on the body of the tick. That may just simply irritate that little tick and inject more venom into yourself. But it's great that it has this little, if I dare say, sterile container. So that will keep your forceps or tweezers clean and also protect the other contents because it is a bit of a soft bag. These tweezers protect it from damaging any of your other goods. As mentioned before, because there's a little bit more space in this first aid kit, I have included some of my own first aid supplies. And as always, handy just to have an extra pair of nitrile gloves, because you don't know what situation you may be facing. So alcohol prep wipes. These are great for sterilizing wounds and treating wounds, preparing wounds for applying bandages. But it really is quite important if you've sort of got a bit of an open cut to actually sterilize that particular wound. So I've included 4 of these in this little kit. I might sort of put some more in there as well. And just some extra dressings. So these are compost island dressings, 8.2 by 6 centimeters. Now these are adhesive as well, but if you're putting them on a decent sized wound, you may want to apply some tape over that to help protect that wound and hold these dressings in place. So I've just included them, obviously there for like a slightly larger wound. And also some good quality band-aids. So I've got 4 of them in there as well. These just are a little bit more waterproof and just a little bit more sturdy. I have tested the waterproof ability of these ones, and they don't really hold up that well. But as I said before, they'll do the job. And just some round spot bandages, so they can always be of particular use. There's no doubt about that one. And just some paracetamol, so in case of pain or fever, these can always be handy as well. And just as a quick side note, so as I mentioned before, this was purchased in Australia. The American version has some extra items: 2 antihistamines, 2 aspirin, 2 ibuprofen, 2 acetaminophen. I have to work out what that is. 3 alcohol swabs. So I'm not quite sure why they weren't included in the kit that I purchased. So that's why I've added my own alcohol swipes. And of course, these are pretty good for starting a fire as well, if needed. No doubt about that one. And the American version has 3 triple antibiotic ointment. So you may want to consider, if purchasing outside the USA, to include those features, and that's what I've done here. Okay, so just a little bit of a challenge to get all the contents back into both the clip seal and the outer satchel. So just go nice and slow and steady, ensure not to damage, as I said before, the clip seal itself. Make sure it is actually sealed properly, and I was careful to not damage the zip placing it into this outer bag. But overall, quite a nice little first aid kit. As I said before, I've just added that carabiner, and these loops at each end certainly add to its functionality. So you can just sort of hang that in your backpack, for example, for ease of location when needed. But reasonably impressed with this. I've just added a few features to hopefully boost its value. Hopefully this has been of help, and thank you for watching.